I get this memo and my first thought is, I can't fix this, right? So I brought the memo down to Linda Cowan. She was the director of the Can Center at the time, and she reads it and she says, why don't we let them use ours restroom? And she says, as long as we're gonna let them use a restroom, you and I can afford to put a pot of beans on the stove and have coffee. Because if you're not worried about where your next meal's coming from, even if it's just beans, everything in life's a little easier. Only because I had no other options. Not because I thought it would work or I saw the value in it, but only because I had no other options. I said, okay, what else am I gonna do? So we went out and told all the guys, hey, you don't have to piss in the street anymore. Come on in, we have a bathroom. But in return for that, don't be drunk, don't be high, and respect the center.
When a robbery happened, it's not just about a robbery happened. It's a reason why that happened. It's the lack of access to health, it's the lack of access to food, it's the lack of access to home, and even the basic thing, just the lack of access to be recognized as a person.
I realized that as long as I saw this group of men as a group of illegals, wetbacks, undocumented, as long as I saw them as that and failed to recognize their humanity, nothing got any better. And the absolute second that I inputted the fact that they were human beings into the equation, things got drastically better and easier for me. They get to know me, and I get to know them, and they trust me, and then I trust them, and I start getting information about crimes. I started getting information about other guys in the pool who are selling dope or robbing people, or maybe he's the guy who molested that little girl.
When you have the trust of the community, change the equation. People is willing to participate, people is willing to talk to you, people is even willing to go to court and speak and be the witness on it. But when that trust is not the factor in, people don't just simply participate. People insulate themselves.
When the labor pool was going, it was Shangri-La for criminals. Now, this is a tight ship. You don't get away with being drunk. You don't get away with selling drugs. You don't get away with robbing people now. So we actually, when I was zero tolerance and throwing everybody in jail, there was much more crime going on than when we did this.
The main success here with the two police officers is that they treat people as people. They understand what is mean to be a police officer in the community, how it's important to collaborate with them. All of that is part of the safety in the community. And when you have a safety community, you have a healthy community. You have the possibility to walk in your streets. You don't have the fear that something is going to happen to you.
Hey, Rabbit! It's their interactions with the community, their interactions with people, their openness, basically.
Always a presence that is definitely that police presence, but just a completely different approach. And it really puts people at a pause. They're just amazed by it.
To understand the daily operations of one officer, that they are looking after us, our safety, our future. So when we understand better that, we are able to support better our officer there.
We expanded the program, and within the first year, or the first full year of our program, we dropped calls for service in the 5-block area 56%. 56% less 911 calls. The number of tips to us on other crimes went from 0 to I don't know how many, a lot. Our numbers of arrests on major violent crimes, on homicides, on rapes have skyrocketed. We saw the first bank open up across the street from where the labor pool was. First bank in 40 or 50 years.
I get to come back to a community where I grew up and see the growth and the change, and how if I approach policing the way we approach it here at the Can Center, just what a difference it makes. And I learned that from Matt and Linda, you know. People do feel safe, even though they don't see me arresting people every day. People know that I'm working. There's a presence, there's a connection. I do care deeply for the people of the West Side.
You just try to do the right thing. That's it. You know, you try to help where you can, right? You just try to help where you can. My name's Matt. I'm a police officer. I'll help you. If I need to arrest you, I certainly will, and I do. But I'm still Matt.